Welcome to the Reece Report. I am Andrew Reece, and I am not in a good mood. Forget all the damn introductions. I don't give a damn today. I'm with Jose, who's hopefully here to calm me down and navigate this situation. But this is going to be a rant of epic proportions. I'm going to talk about the New York Islanders Pittsburgh Penguins series. I'm going to talk about how my team choked this series away. Now, I want to start off with the good. Ron Hextall, you made a great trade for Jeff Carter. He was excellent. From the trade deadline right into the playoffs, he was excellent. He had 4 goals in the series, and the Penguins started this series off good. They had a 2-1 series lead, and then Game 4 happened where they got undisciplined and fell apart. But I don't even want to talk about that yet, okay? I want to talk about how the Penguins dominated this entire series but still lost in 6. And Jose?
Yes.
I'm gonna explain to you why the Penguins lost this series in 6.
Go ahead.
Terrible Tristan, jackass Jari. That's the reason why we lost this series. What the hell was that? What kind of goaltending is that? I have not seen goaltending that bad in a series since the Penguins last lost in 6 games to the Philadelphia Flyers when Marc-Andre Fleury was in net and was allowing 4 goals every game. The Pittsburgh Penguins had a good hockey team. They had a chance to do some damage in the playoffs, but they were once again let down by their goaltending. What the hell was he doing in Game 5? The Penguins outshot the Islanders 51-24 in that game. Now, I'm going to get on the guys not scoring enough. I'm going to get on the guys not beating a rookie goaltender. But Tristan Jarry gave this series away in Game 5 when he decided to go on a fishing trip and pass the puck to nobody. Well, actually, he passed the puck to Josh Bailey, who then got a lucky bounce and put it in the net. But you know what? Then Game 6 happened, and Tristan Jarry turned into the worst goaltender in the NHL. But I want to point something out about Game 5, okay? The Penguins had their fans in the crowd. They played a pretty great game. But you know what? Before that Jarry play happened, the puck just went down the ice. Just a normal play. The brand new Zamboni ice was there, so the puck went fast to Jarry. I see Getty Malkin, who's at the blue line, just sauntering back easy, like nothing's going to happen. I see the other guy on the other side, the other player on the other side, just sauntering back. Now, Jarry could have just dropped it off behind the net. He could have passed it to the guy on the left. But I'm looking at these guys, and I'm like, there's no urgency at all in them to get back and help Jarry. So Jarry just throws it up the ice, almost in frustration because he just doesn't know what to do. He's a little nervous as it is already. And then when Bailey gets the puck, then you see Malkin rush back and ends up hitting his stick, which leads to the goal going upstairs. And the Islanders attacked his glove hand. He scored 12 goals in his glove hand. His glove was down the whole series. They knew exactly where to shoot. They knew how to counterattack the Penguins, and that's what happened. So now, after terrible Tristan, who gave us 0 chance to win this series, became a jackass and gave away Game 5, then we get to Game 6. And in Game 6, the Penguins were up 1-0, 2-1, and 3-2. Each time the Islanders came back and scored a goal. Now, I'm going to go for the first goal. Beauvillier, off a face-off win, they get the puck around the boards, and somehow they get a 2-on-1. Don't ask me how. But my boy, that's right, my favorite player in the NHL, I've loved him a long time, Sidney Crosby. I'm sorry, buddy, but you're not off the hook either in this one. Because what I saw was you had a chance to get back. You're skating back, and I can see you're within a stride of Beauvillier. And you stopped. You were there, and you stopped. You gave up, you let up, and you allowed Beauvillier to shoot that puck backhand upstairs on Jarry. Now, was it a shit goal? Yes, because every goal on Jarry was shit in this series. But when you have a goalie that's struggling like Jarry, that you know just gave up the last game with a horrible giveaway, you're supposed to do everything in your power to get in front of the puck, block the puck, get in front of guys, do whatever you can, Pretend like David Ayers is in net. Okay? That's what you got to do. Now, Crosby did this the first 3 games because in game 3, he saved the Penguins from a tie because it was 5-4 and he dived for the puck and stopped them from scoring in an empty net. But for some reason, game 4, 5, and 6, Crosby was nowhere to be found. And it gets worse because after the Islanders made it 3, after it was 3-2, the Islanders scored 3 goals in 3 minutes. Once again, the only time I've seen this worse is when Fleury gave up 4 in 4 minutes in Game 7 to San Jose when he's played for Vegas. So all you Fleury lovers out there, okay? I've watched Fleury his entire career. He's had a lot of bad playoffs, okay?
And he also has some good ones, too.
And he's had some good ones, okay? But right now, that series is tied because Cam Talbot's outplaying it. So I don't want to hear the Fleury apologist, okay? I watched this guy in the playoffs. He gave up bad goals. He gave the puck away just like Jarry. But the difference is his name was Fleury. So they gave millions of chances until Matt Murray came around and saved us and helped us win back-to-back cups. Now, we got rid of Matt Murray because he failed us the last 2 years. And we went to Jarry thinking that maybe he could get it done. Clearly, he can't. He choked big time in the playoffs. I get it. But let's go to the 4-3 goal. The game's been tied, okay? Or sorry, let's go to the 3-3 goal. The game's been tied, okay? Now, here's the play. The Islanders come in. It's 3-on-3, okay? Crosby's in front of the guy who has the puck. And I swear to God to you, go and watch this. He turns and looks for something to do and allows the guy to get the blue line and pass the puck to Eberle, who then gets it to Brock Nelson, who scores. And I'm like, what are you doing, Crosby? You let them bring the puck into the zone, and you just let him make a play, and they got a backdoor goal on Jarry, who once again was out of position and couldn't stop the puck. So you know what, Crosby? You had 1 goal in the series. The first game was a nice goal, and you set up Brian Rust in game 5 to tie that game, okay? Before Jerry gave it away. But you got to be a whole lot better than 1 goal, okay? And here's the worst part of all. After the game, I got to listen to this guy's news conference. And I love Sidney Crosby. I think he's been a great player and a great captain. He's had a lot of success in the league. But he has the nerve to come out and say that was a learning experience? Are you kidding me? You've won 3 cups. You've been to 4 finals. This is not a learning experience. You're 33 years old. Malkin's 34. Letang's 32. This is not a learning experience. This is not some 21-year-old kid who just got beat in the playoffs.
Yeah, but
this is not a learning experience. You lost 3 straight times in the first round.
He's talking for the younger players on the team. That's what it is. Especially for Jarry, right?
They have Jarry. The rest of the team is experienced. They don't have a lot of young players on this team.
Well, the defense it's okay, not big no-name players.
To me, the defense didn't play bad in this series. No, the offense didn't play bad other than scoring more goals.
No, it was just the goaltending. Right? That's all it was. But then again, it's his first playoff series, so that's why he's saying that's why Crosby's saying it's like it's an experience, like, hey, not every goalie can first playoff series and stuff like that can play well. Some people get nervous, some people get the jitters.
Yeah, tell me that when you got Jack Campbell in the net, Jose. It is first playoffs in his first season ever.
Hey, listen, but that's because but the Leafs, at least they have guys that don't compare Montreal to Islanders. I'm sorry.
I know.
Islanders are a better team than Montreal. I'll tell you right now.
I'm not. But the way the Islanders played this series, all they did was counterattack. It was like
that's their system, man. And even last year, they did the same thing too. Last year in the playoffs, that's their system.
And by the way, guess who we lost to, Jose? A rookie goaltender, a backup rookie goaltender. Yep. So I don't want to hear that excuse either. Okay, Jarry should be able to beat Sorokin, who went 4-0 in the series. Okay, now that I've taken care of Crosby, who everyone thinks that I was just going to let him off the hook, I'm going to get to Getty Malkin. I am sick to death of Getty Malkin. This guy won the Conn Smythe like 10 years ago, it feels like, okay? And since then, he had good playoffs in the back-to-back cups. But since that time, this guy's been a disaster in the playoffs. Now, he had 5 points in this series, but don't let that fool you. He had 1 impact game where he scored the goal. Other than that, he wasn't very good in this series. And if you go back to their record, which is 3-13 the last 3 years in the playoffs, this guy has 0 points in 10 games before he came into the playoffs this year. He missed the first 2 games due to injury. Then in game 6, he had a breakaway to try to make it 5-4. And he's so slow now because of the injuries that they caught him on the breakaway. He didn't even get a shot on net. Malkin is a slow, plodding player who does not have the same desire he had when he won the Conn Smythe years ago. Okay? Yet he was not around the whole season. He came back and the team played worse with him there. So I'm sick of Getty Malkin. Okay? And to me, I know it's going to happen. Some changes are happening. Okay? Malkin, at this point, it's time to trade him. I've had enough. Okay? Now, the team might get blown up anyway, but they should have one more year of trying to win with this squad. But with Tristan Jarry in it, it's not going to matter. You can't beat bad goaltending. I don't care how good your team is. You can't beat bad goaltending. That's what happened to Colorado last year. Okay? So now, and this goes out to Adriano, because you're going to love this. Jake Guentzel. Jake Guentzel was one of the best playoff players in the NHL for 3 seasons. He led the NHL in goals for 3 seasons in the playoffs because when they won the Cups. Since then, he's not been good. And in this series, he was not good. Now, he had 25 shots on goal, but he only scored 1 goal. And he was a -6 in the series. Okay? Willie Nylander in Toronto, who I've made fun of and have said his contract's bad, he's had 2 good years, and he has 4 or 5 goals in the playoffs right now, and he's been the Leafs' best player. So, I'm sorry. The first line was not good. And that includes Brian Rust, who's had 2 great years. Not good. Not good enough. You can't have your top players have 1 goal each in the series. Even though you dominated the shooting and all that sort of stuff, you got to capitalize. You got to score goals, especially against a rookie goaltender. Okay? So I don't want to hear excuses. I didn't give it to McDavid. I'm not giving it to my team. Okay? This was a choke job by Tristan Jarry. And other than that, we dominated the series. And other than game 4, where we lost our shit and our discipline and allowed the Islanders to get a bunch of power plays and lost 4-0, we had no business losing this series. But Tristan Jarry, who, I only had one guy named Jackass in the NHL, and that was Jack Eichel, and he well deserves it. And everyone who thought that he wasn't a jackass is finding out just how much of a jackass he is. But guess what? I'm sorry, Jarry. You're number 2 on the list. Because you're going to be Jackass Jarry until further notice. What do you got to say about this, Jose? Because I've had enough.
I'm just enjoying you. I'm just enjoying you going crazy on your Pittsburgh.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No,
did I say anything wrong?
Not. No, absolutely not. The goalie played a horrible series. It's his first. The nerves played into it. He played bad the series.
Shout out to the Islanders crowd, by the way, because the Islanders crowd,
amazing. That was amazing.
They were unbelievable, and yes, they probably got to Jarry. I'll give them
100%, 100%.
But to give away the puck in Pittsburgh, there's no excuse for it.
No, like I said, besides the goaltending, I don't see Pittsburgh did play a good series. Of course, Malkin, I think he's done. He's washed up. He's too many injuries.
He looks done, doesn't he? He looks done.
He does. I think he's injury prone. He's done. I think he's gonna go back to the KHL or something like that, unless somebody wants to take a risk on him. But I don't think he's worth that much money. I think him
and Ovi are going to the KHL.
Yeah. So, and then Crosby. Crosby's a beast. Crosby.
I love him. I think he's great most of the time, but he was not good in this series.
Yeah, he wasn't. He didn't play well in the series too. But you got to give credit to the Islanders. They play that system that Barry Trotz.
But you know what, Jose? If they played the system and they beat us 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, okay. But the Penguins dominated this series.
Absolutely.
It's not like Trotz put a system in and they put the trap on us and they beat us like Montreal did last year.
But the problem was
goaltending.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. The problem is that the Islanders came in and he stole the show. And while Pittsburgh couldn't rely on their backup because they didn't have any.
This wasn't Trotz. This was the Islanders counterattacking the Penguins. That's what it was.
Absolutely. And they took advantage. And they took advantage of their scoring chances and their bad goaltending, and that's the way.
Look at the goals. Like, I'm telling you guys, please, there are highlight packages on YouTube. Go back and look at those goals.
Yeah, absolutely. They
Come
just
on.
took advantage of bad goaltending. That's all it was. Hey, listen, man. I've been there as a Leaf fan. I've been there, done that. Don't worry, man. I know your struggles. Don't worry. And if the Leafs lose this series, it's 3-2. They lost tonight in overtime. And if they lose the series, I'll be back here next week going crazy. I'll tell you straight up right now, too.
I'm steaming, Jose. I cannot believe they lost this series. I don't even know what else to say.
It's just bad goaltending. That's all it was.
And by the way, for people who are talking about Mike Sullivan, okay, like, he couldn't go to anybody else because Casey DeSmith got hurt right before the playoffs. Manny Legacy was the backup. He's played one game in 5 years. It would have been like putting David Ayers in net. Although in hindsight, maybe that would have been the right thing to do because Jari wasn't stopping anything anyway.
Yeah, like, I understand the last game after he lets in 5 goals. Maybe you try pulling him out. You know what I mean?
And I'm sorry, Mike. I think you're a good coach, but don't call a timeout when it's 5-3. Yeah, at that point, it's too fucking late.
That's true too. Hey, man, there's always next year. Don't worry, it's all good. Next year, you guys will regroup. You guys have a good team with Crosby there. You guys are always
the worst part, Jose. After that series, I got my friends, I got Anthony, I got everyone fucking telling me, go get Freddie Anderson. You need Freddie Anderson in the net. You know what? I'm watching the Leafs right now, and these idiot Leaf fans are telling me go get Freddie Anderson. You know why the Leafs are doing good right now other than tonight they lost in OT? They got Jack Campbell in net. Yeah, that's why they're doing good. Not because Freddie Anderson's in this series, he's letting goals between the legs and shitters from the side of the net, okay? I don't want Freddie Anderson.
It's true. Oh, man, there's Tuukka Rask is going to be an unrestricted free agent. Maybe you guys can sign him. You never know. But I
think he's going to retire, actually, Tuukka.
You think so? You think Tuukka Rask is going to retire?
I think he wants to go home to his family, and the way he's playing in the playoffs right now, he wants to win a cup and go home.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. They just steamrolled Washington.
And I'm calling it right now. The Islanders are so shit. Boston's going to win in 4 or 5 games max.
No.
Okay, because Boston can play their style and the Penguins' style.
Yeah,
and Taylor Hall, other than Jeff Carter, Taylor Hall was the best trade of the whole fucking season because they got a second line now that can actually play.
No, that's making them dangerous. That's
there
what they
is
needed.
Zero chance. I'm going to say it right now. If I regret it, I regret it. There is zero chance the Islanders are beating Boston in the second round. Zero.
Nah, there's always a chance, man.
And you want to know why? Because Boston has Tuukka Rask. That's why.
And the Bergeron and Marchand and Pasternak.
And I'm going to assume the Leafs are going to win this series because I believe they will. Okay.
Yeah, I believe too.
They don't want to see either one of those teams, but they got to worry about the damn Jets coming up. Never mind.
Absolutely, and the Jets are nice and rested.
Because this joke of a bye week that the Leafs are fucking around with Montreal right now. Montreal has no business even winning 2 games. Okay. They're going to win the series. Okay.
They won tonight on the stupidest goal I've never seen before in my life. A 2-1 on an overtime.
It wouldn't be the Leafs if they didn't make it hard on their fans. Eh?
Oh yeah, of course. It's always like that.
Like only the Leafs. All these years, this horrible defense that they've had. They have a good defense this year. I'm not saying they don't, but only they could give up a 2-0 in overtime in the first minute.
Every Leaf series goes to game 6, goes to game 7. Like, I've only seen one series that they won 4-0 against Ottawa. That's the damn shit. I'm gonna fuck.
I hope we didn't lose Jose, but I'm just gonna say this while Jose is fixing himself over there. Alex Galchenyuk had a game and then he gave it all back. And that's why Galchenyuk is what he is. But I look, we lost Jose, but at the end of the day, I needed to rant, and I'm glad I ranted. And the Leafs, you're going to be fine. My Penguins, I'm not so sure. So that's this edition of the Reece Report because we've lost Jose. I will see you next time if I can contain myself. Bye for now.